everybody, it's Ren.
Scott.
We're cross-county travelers, and you know that, those of you that are always here. And we appreciate all of you that do watch our videos. Today, we are going to discuss that. Yeah, that. We bought an RV. Many thanks to those who donated and helped us the past month or so through July. We really appreciate you. We couldn't have bought this thing without you. You may not think that's a good thing by the time we're done with this video, but it really is. It really is. It looks worse than it really is.
We bought something. The reason we bought this particular RV, it fit within the price range that we had to spend. And it had been gutted because there were people already living in it. The engine was sound, very low mileage, but it had been cleaned out, and that gave us the option to build what we wanted into the RV, which was very appealing to us because, as we mentioned before, we like to sleep in hammocks, not beds. And it's hard to find an RV that you can put a hammock in, whereas this one being a blank slate, we could do we could make that work. I think we underestimated how much work was going to go into getting this thing to the state that we needed to. We underestimated the amount of work and the amount of money that it was going to take to do it. We also kind of overestimated how much I was going to be able to do. With my heart condition, I wasn't able to do much of anything at all. Now, health-wise, I'm feeling much, much better. We had a doctor who came in and did some medical procedures that the Colorado doctors never even brought up and managed to fix most of what was wrong with me. I'm back to being pretty much healthy. So I'm able to do some work now, but we didn't have any money.
Now, keep in mind,
now we have that solved.
We do. Let's keep in mind that one of the issues that we had while we were in Colorado going through all of this, the doctors came to me and said, you need to get him on hospice, you need to get him home. He's not going to make it a year, we don't think.
And they really gave me no hope.
None.
But there was a fairly new procedure to treat situations like mine, and amazingly, once we got to Tulsa and Oklahoma Heart Institute, there was a doctor there who could do this. There's only about 50 people who can do this, and one of them was in Tulsa at my hospital.
And basically what Dr. Chinwadi did is they went in, they were doing a heart cath, and what they did is they went in through the groin on both sides, and one side went up this way and one side went up this way, and he poked at it, all of them, this way.
He basically forced his way through the blockages.
And then they put some stents in.
Yeah. So I'm feeling great, and I'm able to do the work. We've got the money to do the work, so we're just about now really getting started on this project. So
let's talk about what needs to be done. Okay, so we have a list of things that we need to do. The list is very long. We have propane, the floors. We have to lift up the underneath floor that's there, hopefully, and take the duct system and attach it where it needs to go. We need to clean out the water tank and make sure it's good and sanitary and good for us to use.
We have to add a pump to the domestic water. We have to run new water lines. The people who'd been in it before were living in it, but they had really taken out a lot of the water line system. They disconnected most of the propane system. They'd taken out most of the 12-volt system, and they ran a 120-volt system in a way that, as an engineer, I'm not comfortable with. I'm going to have to redo that. It's not safe, in my opinion. So I've got to do the propane, the water, and the electrical.
There has to be, the windows have to be resealed. They didn't think there were leaks. There were leaks. We found that out. There's lots of walls that need to be replaced, and we just decided the ones that don't need to be replaced, we're just going to put the wall paneling over that we're going to use for the new walls. There needs to be insulation in the back.
There's some minor water damage. It's not bad, but it's there. Not really any mold problems. But I think that when they were living in this, it was stationary and they were caulking around leaks in the windows. And when we drove it from there to here, we shook up the RV and broke loose most of those repairs, and it started leaking again.
Right. The couple that sold it to us, they were a nice couple, and I don't think they realized some of the issues that there were. The engine is sound. It needs some work, but it's a good vehicle and it's good and solid. I know you don't think so, and I know it doesn't look like it, but it is.
I have the technical skills to do pretty nearly all of it, and now I have the physical ability to do pretty nearly all of it. So now it's a case of time and hard work.
So that is where we're at.
We have a rooftop air conditioner. It works, it gets cold, does pull a lot of power. And this is a 30 amp system, and we're going to be doing a lot with the electrical. This window unit only pulls 4 amps. It's very efficient, very modern. So we run both of them till the RV is cool, then we just run this. That leaves us power left over for other things. The door needs some work. The outside's been damaged, it's very flimsy. It's soft in places, so we're going to take this frame from around the door, completely rebuild the door, and put it back together. Put new knobs on it, new locks, everything. Storage bay that we have here, and the inverter that takes 120 volts and gives us our 12 volts. The 12 volt system's been removed, so I'm going to have to rebuild most of that. This is our built-in propane tank. Not loving the idea of a built-in propane tank. I'd like to be able to take tanks to the store, fill them up, and bring them here rather than have to drive the RV somewhere to fill it up. So we may change that around. Also, before we try to use the system, we've got to test it and make sure there are no leaks and that it's safe. This is our spare tire. Except there's not a spare tire there. There is a wheel, so we've got to get a spare. This used to be the RV hot water heater. There is no hot water heater, so we're going to have to add one. Our black and gray tanks, and our sewer line, and our electrical hookups, all of which seem to be working well and in good condition. Don't really have to do much with those. Yes, eh? This is the propane furnace to heat the RV with. We don't know if it works or not. They never used it, so we're going to have to remove it, hook it up to propane and 12 volt power, and test it. Because if things go wrong, I want them to be going wrong out here and not in the RV. And if I have to work on it anyway, I want to be able to get to and see everything. This would be where the domestic water goes into our tank. We have a domestic water tank in here. It doesn't seem to be hooked up to anything, and this fill port is not hooked up to anything. So we're going to have to fix that. This is our generator. The person we bought it from said he thought it works, but he never used it, so we don't know. We're just going to have to hook it up and try it. Right now we don't have house batteries, which is what uses to start this. So we can't just start it up and test it until we jump start it. It runs off of the gas tank. And more storage here.
Hang on, let me do this.
Our water tank's in there too. Driver's side door. This is access to some of the engine parts and the house batteries, which we don't actually have yet. Those are sitting there, but they're not big enough for what we need. The rest of the engine is accessed through a doghouse inside. It's dark in here. We don't have the 12-volt lighting system working yet, and we don't really have a 120-volt system going yet either. Driver's area. The engine runs well. It's only got about 17,000 miles on it. The seat is going to have to be replaced, the driver's seat. This is just on a pole and it's not at all adjustable. I can drive it, Ren can't. We're going to have to re-insulate and recover this area here. Fix all these open wiring. What I'd said earlier about not being real happy with the 110 wiring, that's the sort of thing I'm talking about. We've got to rewire everything, get everything running in a safe way. I'd like to have it all on conduit. I don't like jury-rigged when I'm dealing with electricity. The thermostat, which I don't think is even hooked up, we turn the air conditioner on and off at the breaker box. Some cabinet work. We cut this out because originally we thought we were going to open up the bathroom, make it larger. We've changed our mind since then, so this will probably become a closet.
Well, explain what the hole in the wall is.
The hole in the wall is a vent because this used to be the kitchen, and that was the vent hood over the stove.
And right here where the air conditioner is,
this used to be the refrigerator, and it was a propane electric refrigerator, and that used to be the vents down there so you could access the mechanism, and there was vent up here. Again, more unsafe wiring. This is the bathroom. Not much. Originally we thought we would open this up and build a shower in this area. They used to have the shower right over here. We decided not to do that because we didn't want this constricted space here. We wanted it to be more open. So we're going to come in here and convert this whole area into a wet bath. We're going to redo the walls, we're going to make everything waterproof, and build a shower right there. The toilet will be just fine getting wet. That'll save us some room. In here, this used to be the bedroom, but wouldn't be suitable at all for hammocks. It's far too small. So this will be the kitchen. We're going to put cabinets all the way around here, and we'll put a sink here. So we already got the drain lines in place. The water will be there for the bathroom and the kitchen, so that puts all the water in one tight little area. We can put heat tape on it and not have to worry about anything freezing. All the drains are right there where the tanks are. We don't have to run lines all the way across the RV. This is an antique refrigerator that was in here. Originally we thought we would sell it and replace it with something else. However, I don't know how they got this thing in here. It's way too big to go through the door. They said they put it in through the driver's side door, but I don't even see how that would work. With the steering wheel where it's at, you'd have to remove the driver's seat and you'd have to manhandle it up and over the steering wheel. Lord no.
So we're using it. Go ahead and open that.
And we like it. It's an antique, but it runs really well. This is a 1940s?
Yeah, 1930s.
30s. And it gets nice and cold. It's got this whole Lazy Susan thing going on here, which we kind of like. It gets nice and cold. The freezer works well. So we decided we would just keep it. It was originally white, a little bit rusty. For some reason, in my mind, 1930s, 1940s kitchens are this lime green color. That's just what I think of when I think of kitchens in that era. So we painted it green. Now we're going to put a cabinet here, heavy one bolted to the floor, and another cabinet here, kitchen cabinet permanently mounted, to hold this thing in place. Because if I get in a wreck, I don't want this thing coming forward. So that's about it.
Well, yes, I know there's some of you grimacing because we're grimacing. One of the things you have to know is that we honestly don't believe we were taken for as fools. We really believe this couple believed in what they had. And because for sitting home, sitting there, and you don't have a lot of money, it is perfect. Unfortunately, for what we need, it's not. So we have to fix it. And it's a lot of work.
So we're going to redo the wiring in a way that the 110 and the 12 volt, and I think most of the 12 volt wiring is physically there, it's just not hooked up to anything. And then we're going to put in a new floor. We've already bought the flooring, so last thing we'll do is put down a new floor, add new paneling, paint anything that needs it. It's going to be nice when we're done with it. But there's a lot of work to do.
There's a lot of work. I mean, I've got 4 pages of of things that have to be done. So over the next 2 weeks, we have to work hard. Now, there's been some things happen, good things.
But when we left work and left Colorado, because the altitude in Colorado was killing me, we came thinking I was going to be dead within a year. That was what was in our head. We didn't expect to get to Tulsa and find a doctor who said, yeah, I can fix that. But we had this amazing doctor who did fix things up. I've been released to go back to work.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. Never was expecting it. That was never in my head that I would ever go back to work. I do still have a job with my company. However, the actual position I had is gone. So they got to find me another position. My company is nationwide. They don't have a lot in Tulsa. They don't have a strong presence in Tulsa. There's one position I've applied for. If I don't get it, we're going to have to relocate again somewhere else. But we don't want to go back to Colorado because that altitude is not good for me.
No,
so we may be moving, and we may be moving fast. So we got to get this thing ready to live in fast.
Right. So we will be taking video of things that we're doing, and I will put up video as soon as I can. It takes a while to produce these things because there's things that have to happen. So I will try to get things up as much as possible. We will update you guys daily. We'll take some photos of the good that's happening. Yeah.
It's a lot. It's kind of overwhelming, and you know, my world's been turned upside down, and then it suddenly got turned right side back up again, and it's good, but it's disorienting, and we're scrambling to cope.
Yep. So if anybody is in the Tulsa area and you feel like helping us,
we could sure use some help.
Yeah, and we would love it. We'll make sure to feed you. If you don't live nearby but you want to help, let me know and I'll send you my PayPal information. We could use that as well. I start a job. I've not been able to get a job this whole time that we're in Oklahoma, and I finally get a job.
The day that I got informed that, oh, I have to go back to work and we might have to leave Tulsa if she gets a job.
I tell you, it's, yeah. So, stick with us. You know, if you have suggestions on how we can do a few things easier, we would love that. We're going to put up a connection to our list on Amazon of items that we need. If you would like to purchase those and get them sent to us, thank you in advance if you do that.
And if you're not able, we just appreciate all the support and the good wishes. And our friends have been amazing.
Amazing.
And we can't thank you enough. And we definitely appreciate it. I never expected to be going back to work and returning to my life, but that's how this went.
So thank you for all the prayers. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for everything you guys have done, all the encouragement, all the hugs and loves and everything else. So stay tuned. We'll have all of the pertinent information down below. And remember, like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube if you haven't already. Also, if you want to get updates, ring the bell here on YouTube. And also go over to our Facebook page And like that will help encourage us a lot as well. We don't get monetary support right now through YouTube. We only have 177 subscribers.
Which we love all of you.
All of you, each and every one of you. But the problem is we cannot start getting any type of funding through YouTube until we have 1,000 viewers. So this is why we're asking you to like our channel, to like the video and to subscribe, because those subscribers will help us get to where we need to be. So all our love. Thank you so much, and we'll post something tomorrow.
Thank you all.
Thank you.